do we mute everything? Director Mechanic, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Danielle, I'm not hearing any other sound.
Yes, we're getting ready to start, Director Mechanic. Thank you.
I can barely hear you either.
I can hear fine if that helps at all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeff Gibson. I am the HART Board Counsel. You're seeing my face here running the meeting because we don't yet have a board. I'm going to help facilitate the officers to that board, and so I thank you for all for being here. I'd first ask that everyone silence all their electronic devices for the duration of this meeting. This is the January 5th, 2026 Board of Directors meeting, which I will now call to order. The meeting is a hybrid meeting. There are board members physically present in the room here at 1201 East 7th Avenue in the Florida Conference Room. There are also members participating via communication media technology. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we do a roll call and take attendance, I do want to state on the record that Director Cameron Cepeda notified staff before this meeting that she will not be able to be in attendance due to a scheduling conflict. Staff, will you please take attendance?
Yes, sir. Director Clendenin? Director Hartfield?
Present.
Director Hobbs? Director King?
Present.
Director Knight?
Present.
Director McElpatrick?
Here.
Director Mechanic? Director Miller?
Here.
Director Myers?
Here.
Director Niebrick?
Here.
Director Schisler?
Here.
Director Vieira?
Here.
Director Williams? Here. Director Wolstel?
Here.
You do have a quorum, sir.
Thank you very much. Members of the public have a right to speak on any relevant issue during the public comment process. However, certain items may be rooted in contract, pending legal recourse, or prohibited by this board's policy, which prohibits involvement by this board in the normal employer-employee relationship between the CEO and any other employee or employee union of HART. While the public could address those matters, board members are advised not to discuss them during this meeting. The HART Board of Directors welcomes comments from citizens about any issue or concern. Your opinions are valued in terms of providing input to the board members. When addressing the board, comments shall not be directed personally against a board member or staff member, but rather at the particular issue at issue. This provides a mutual respect between the board members, staff, and the public. The board has set aside a 30-minute period for public comment, as stated in HART Board Policy 210. The chair will call on speakers by name in the order in which their request to speak has been received. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly. You will be given up to 3 minutes allowed for each speaker. Please refrain from any discussion on any matter brought up during public comment until after all public comments have been completed. I'd first like to invite up Mr. Eric McKeithen.
For 21 years. My last day at HART was December 4th, 2025. Due to an accident, it was rated preventable. That would have made it my third one out of a 12-month period. But underneath HART's new policy, that made it my first accident from which it called for retraining, not termination. I was released pending investigation from which I'd never heard back from the company. I did write, Ms. Keisha Brown gave me the option, instead of her terminating me, to resign. And that's what I did. I wrote a resignation letter on December 10th, making it effective 12/12 of 2025. And when I realized that I shouldn't have been terminated, I should have been retrained, I wrote her another letter on 12/14/2025, asking her to withdraw my resignation letter. And I also sent her an email as well. On the 15th, I also brought a copy up to the office. It's the same, a copy up to the office for my record. She said she would get, with the new information, that she would get that to the proper authorities and get back to me, from which I never heard from her. I did give her a call. She said there was nothing that she could do at that time. So I'm here today. And that's about it. Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. John Green.
Happy New Year. Asa Fuller Randolph, a labor organizer and one of the most influential political strategists of the 20th century. His belief in organized labor ability to counter workforce discrimination and his skill in planning nonviolent protests helped gain employment advancement for African Americans. So today I brought my book, The Ethiopian Bible, right? And it's the white Christian national policies that's hurting America today. Now let's bring it to HART. HART in his policies, the way they hide behind them to do this type of damage to these employees that you're gonna hear speak today is unfair and it's discriminatory towards the employees. It always has been and it continues to be. And this is something that needs to really be looked at in this organization. The people cannot continue to hide behind policy and change them at the discretion to hurt the employees. And this is consistent. I'm an ex-employee. I'm a former vice president of the union. I know how they operate. The faces change, but the methods are the same. And this needs to stop. Now, you're going to hear from some other people. You got a guy coming up who, with the policy, y'all went through the video and not supposed to go through no more than 15 minutes, seeing that he was doing something, and y'all fired him. Another policy issue. You can't continue to hide behind the policy when you get mad at the employees, right? This is what's been happening. And you can't patch up. Here I have, right here, where you redlining, right? I just didn't have enough copies to bring today to distribute to the board members. You're still redlining routes, right? And it's not because it's the employees in which y'all put the blame on. It's because you can't patch up what you don't have, and what you don't have enough buses to meet the demands of the community, and that's the problem. And congratulations to the 32 millions. But another issue that I want to know, I'm still trying to find the tape where you brought your vans for paratransit. I didn't hear the vote for that to be approved when you brought them. Thank you.
Thank you. Chantel Simpson?
How y'all doing today? Now, this is my second time coming to you guys, letting you know all of the corruption that's going on within HART. I was falsely terminated and falsely lied on and accused of putting in false documentations. Thank God for Ms. Gwen Myers and Ms. Christine Millers for stepping up and fighting for me, Ms. Jones and Ms. Bimbo for stepping up and fighting for me to get my job back. And I'm here today, but I still have a B infraction under my name. And I'm still feeling like I'm walking on eggshells and pins and needles. And I'm not sure why we have supervisors and management that are not helping us and fighting for us, but they're fighting against us. They're not helping us at all. And I was falsely accused and terminated for it, and I still have a B infraction under my name, and I don't feel safe because these people lied on me. They have access to my social, my address, they have access to all my information. I do not feel safe with these people over me as management. I'm stressing out, I have anxiety out the roof. This is my second time coming to you guys asking for help. I'm a good employee. I stay late, I come in on my days off. I have no issues. That's why I was able to get my job back. But who's gonna fight for me? We need a cure. You guys doctors, I done said it before, you guys are doctors. We need a cure because they misusing and abusing their authority. And it's hurting a lot of good people and a lot of drivers. They're getting fed up and they're getting close to the end. Like, they're not gonna be able to do it. We got the union reps, they're gonna retire in a couple of years. Who is here to fight for us? We need help with the corruption of management. People lying on me. FMLA, the people that's over the FMLA, they call FMLA and they requested for my day to be denied because I came to the board meeting. That is what I was told. That's retaliation. Why is these people still here? And every time I reach out to Matthew Whiteside, I reach out to James Sequoia or anybody like that, I'm not getting no response. No, oh, we're doing investigation. How long does an investigation take? Thanksgiving passed, Christmas passed, we in a whole new year. I need help. We need this corruption to stop. I do not feel safe as a driver. I'm willing to stop driving and step up and be a manager and fight for the employees, fight for the other drivers. I already feel like I got a target on my back, so I'm willing to just step up and be that leader that we need. So what are the qualifications that I need so I can step into that position and be a HART Plus manager or just some type of management, because we need help. Even if it's from me as a driver stepping up or somebody coming in with some good experience and that's willing to fight for us, we need that right now because the misuse and abuse is getting out of hand. And I received that firsthand. I experienced it. I know I'm being retaliated against. And me coming up here today speaking is gonna be another target on my back. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Letitia Jones?
Chantel Simpson.
Good morning, Board. I was not going to speak due to my not feeling well, but being the union president, you have to speak. So it was an email sent to me last night and asked me, will I speak of this? And when I read the email, and I told them, yeah, I'm the union president. So I'm gonna read this email. To whom it may concern, my name is Tiara Leonard. I am writing to formally dispute and file a complaint regarding my wrongful termination from Hillsborough Area Regional Transit, where I was employed for approximately 8 years and a half as a paratransit operator. On July 22nd, 2025, I was diagnosed with COVID-19 after visiting my nearby emergency room. My condition rapidly worsened within hours. I experienced severe respiratory symptoms and extremely weakness, inability to eat, sleep, or walk, and was effectively bedridden due to the seriousness of the illness and the risk of spreading COVID-19 to others, particularly my coworkers. My physician instructed me to remain home and quarantine. I was issued a doctor's note excusing me from work from July 22nd, 2025 through July 27, 2025. Following my diagnosis, I complied fully with the medical instructions. I also properly notified HART OCC department and informed my supervisor that I had tested positive for COVID-19. I requested and booked FMLA leave covering July 22nd, 2025 through July 27th, 2025, and submitted the required medical documentation. Upon returning to work on July 27th, 2025, despite still being ill, I was informed by my manager, Ms. Sherna Wilburn, that I had allegedly received the sixth occurrence, and I questioned how was that possible as I had booked off FMLA and provided medical documentation. Ms. Wilburn stated she will investigate and later confirmed that the occurrence remained. On August the 5th, 2025, a disciplinary hearing was held with Ms. Sherna Wilburn and Union Representative Antonio Duhart, which stands next to me. During this meeting, it was clearly stated that my absence was due to COVID-19 and that I had a doctor's note and that my FMLA approval was pending. I was advised to submit additional documentation from basic FMLA, which I did, and Ms. Wilburn agreed to wait for the paperwork. On August the 12th, 2025, a second hearing occurred with Ms. Wilburn and Ms. Sarah Bimbo. Ms. Wilburn, that I had just spoken with basically, and my documentation was approved. Ms. Wilburn then summoned FMLA manager Melissa Shelton, who questioned me about the purpose of my FMLA, and Ms. Shelton later confirmed that my name-related communication was presented to FMLA. She is just asking for her job back because they abused her
Thank you.
FMLA, and
you
her
very much.
FMLA was approved by HART, by BASIC.
Thank you very much. I don't want to mispronounce this last name, so I'll just say Karen L. I apologize. Karen?
Is it Karen Peoples?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Excuse me, sweetie.
I apologize.
That's okay, no problem about that. Happy New Year to everyone. We're in a new year, and I want you to understand that another year I will be here. We need to understand, board, you have staff coming to you. I am a rider. When the staff is not happy, I'm not happy. Because guess what? They deserve better. They deserve to be treated better, have better pay, better benefits, and better equipment to serve the community. You all are sitting here making multi-million-dollar decisions. And I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying, the board of directors, the ADA board, you all need to get out here and really see the day-to-day operation of HART. You don't know how reckless these other drivers are, how they shoot all in front of the buses, and I've got to be praying, because baby, the bus drivers handle the buses, but it's dangerous out here. I'm gonna keep asking you all to get out here and ride the bus. You know better than I. I'm gonna keep coming back. You didn't pay them their COVID-19 pay. You need to understand the way stations need to come up much better than what they are. And you need to understand that they are shoving food down their throats for their breaks. They're using the bathrooms and doors are not properly locking. I had to stand in front of the bathroom door for one of the lady bus drivers so she can use the bathroom and be secure that no one was gonna get in there. They didn't want to pass me. But my thing is this, we have got to come better this year and the years ahead for the drivers, for the middle class staff down, and for the riders who ride. This year, I'm gonna keep knocking on yours door, and you're gonna hear me, and you're gonna understand me, because I'm guided by God all-powerful, and he's gonna keep on guiding me to do the right thing. I'm gonna come down here humble. I'm gonna come down here with respect. I'm gonna come down here loud, and I'm gonna come down here letting you understand I'm a very intelligent woman, and I'm not gonna stop at anything. I'm gonna keep on fighting for their rights, because their rights is for the community. You are busing all nationality of people throughout this community. And I want you to understand, you as the board has got to come out to the day-to-day operations and see what's going on. Your bus drivers are in turmoil. They don't need to be like this. Their families don't need to see them like this. But you all need to understand, if you were in their shoes, how would you want it? Thank you so much. I'll be back. And let's again, let my name roll off your lips and let my name marinate in your mind. I got plenty of time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Charles Loeb.
Yes, so good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. And basically, I do agree with the last speaker, but I did want to talk to you about a different subject, and that is more revenue. First of all, I hope that that you presented a tape or something on what I talked about May 5th up at the state legislature, because it might get the idea that the money that was voted for does not belong to them, but belongs to the people, the HART and the people and other transit agencies. But I wanted to talk about other new sources of revenue. First of all, I was thinking about, when I think about some of the transit centers, about maybe having food trucks over there and see if you can get revenue and more people over there in terms of that. Second, I still like the idea that I presented last year about inside advertising and about trying to get people on the bus for exclusive ads if you all want to do this and gain revenue doing this. And, it'll get more ridership because they're not going to be able to see these ads in any other place but on the buses. And finally, there is one other subject that I did want to talk to you about in terms of potential future revenue, and that is about the situation with Brightline. I'm hoping that they'll be smart enough to open a suburban station, not just the one downtown, but a suburban station somewhere along the route between Tampa and Orlando. Now, this would open up a good premium transit opportunity for you all to make a combination people come off the train to get right on premium buses and to go, let's say, particularly to USF. And the reason I say USF because this was their idea that I saw over on the April 2024 FDOT survey. So they were talking about having a service to Brandon, but there's no reason why they could not pick up riders over from the train along the way if they would have a suburban railroad station there. Anyway, I do kind of wonder, I do hope you all keep up with Brightline and see what's going on with them and see what other potential combination revenue source opportunities you can come up with from them, because I think there's some potential in that. And of course, like I say, USF is interested in having a premium transit service going to Brandon, because they said so on the survey back in on the FDOT survey 2024. Thank you. And Happy New Year again to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Joshua Trotman.
Let me see. Happy New Year. This is the first time I ever did this. So, I'm from the HART Plus van division. I love the job, no complaints, love serving the community. I got terminated, but I felt that HART violated the contract. When we had a deposition, they went past the days after the deposition. So when the second level was heard, they went over days for deposition, so HART violated the contract. So I just asked for my job. I love serving the community. I had no issues with the job. I love the patrons, the clients, and they went over days. So when I got terminated, so that's it.
Thank you. And that will close out the public comment portion of our meeting. Before we begin, on behalf of the HART Board, I would like to welcome the reappointed Hillsborough County representatives, Commissioners Cameron Zepeda, Miller, Myers, and Wastel. Welcome back. All right, our first item of business is the election of the chair. Board officers are elected through an open process, and nominations are accepted from the floor. Board Policy 120 states that there shall be elected by the board from among the members of the board a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary at the first January meeting each year through an open process with nominations accepted from the floor. General counsel is to chair the election process as a neutral party. HART Board officer positions are to be filled by at least one county elected representative, with the exception of the requirement that at least one county elected representative, any board member may be elected to serve as an officer. All officers shall be elected for a term of 1 year or until the officer's successor is duly qualified and shall serve at the pleasure of the board. A board member may serve the board in consecutive terms as an officer in various capacities. However, no board member shall serve in the same capacity for more than 3 consecutive terms as an officer. All right, the process is that I will ask for nominations from the floor, which do not require a second. Once nominations are closed, I will ask the board members to vote on the nominations in order received to identify one board member with the majority of the votes. The last step will be to confirm the board officer's election with a motion by the board and a vote. Are there any questions before we begin? All right, first officer position is chairperson of the HART Board of Directors. Director Vieira served as HART Board Chair for 3 consecutive years and cannot serve in the same capacity in 2026. Other than that limitation, there are no other limitations on what members may serve as the chairperson. Do I have any nominations? Mr. Vieira.
I nominate Board Member Schisler.
All right, we have
Chair, Chair, I nominate Josh Wassel.
All right, we have 2 nominations. Are there any other nominations for chairperson of the HART Board of Directors? Seeing none, the nominations for chairperson of the HART Board of Directors is now closed. I would ask staff to poll the board members for their selection of the chairperson.
Director Clendenin,
Schisler.
Director Hartfield,
Schisler.
Director King,
Wastel.
Director Knight, Director McElpatrick,
Wastel.
Director Mechanic, Director Miller,
Wastel.
Director Myers,
Schisler.
Director Niebrick,
Wastel.
Director Schisler,
Schisler.
Director Vieira, Director Williams, Director Westphal.
Wastel.
Director Schisler has 7 votes and Director Westphal has 5.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to appoint Director Schisler as chairperson of the HART?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, Director Schisler. All right, we will continue on. The next person is Vice Chair of the HART Board of Directors. Director Wastel served in this capacity as 2025. Do I have any nominations from the floor for Vice Chair of the HART Board of Directors? Director Vieira?
I hate to go twice. I mean, last time I know Gary Hartfield was nominated. I'll be glad to vote for Gary Hartfield.
This is Commissioner Miller. I'd like to nominate Commissioner Wastel, please.
I waive being nominated for the position. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close the nomination.
We have a nomination for Mr. Hartfield to be Vice Chair of the HART Board of Directors. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The final position is the position of Secretary of the HART Board of Directors. The rules require that at least one member from the county serve as one of the officers. So the rules are going to require that one of the county representatives serve in that capacity. May I have excuse me?
I was being asked.
Okay, sorry. May I have a nomination for Secretary of the HART Board of Directors? I have a nomination for Ms. Myers. Are there any other nominations for Secretary for the HART Board of Directors? Seeing none, the nominations are now closed. May I have a motion to elect
So
Director
moved.
Myers?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Director Myers will be the Secretary of the HART Board of Directors. Congratulations to the newly elected HART Board of Directors. With the okay of the chair, I will proceed to facilitate the rest of the process of the litigation claims and those, unless the chair would like to take over for here. Okay. I would like to draw attention to the printout of the elections and appointment summary and committee structure for reference. I will ask that the board elect alternatives for each position. Having alternatives is very important for physical quorums for the meetings. The next election will be for a member and an alternative for the Litigation and Claims Committee. The committee has one board member representation. It meets as needed on the first Monday of the month following the HART board meeting. According to the survey of preference, Director King is interested in serving as a member or an alternative on the committee. Are there any other members interested in this committee?
Chair, I would like to remove my name from consideration.
Yes, sir. All right, do we have any members who are interested in serving as a member or an alternate in the Litigation and Claims Committee meeting?
If I may,
Sir?
I mean, I would, but I can't. With my private sector position, I just feel precluded from it. But I'll just say for anybody, it's a great position. I mean, it is, because it deals with evaluating claims that are settlement claims with HART. So I think it's great. I'd love to do it, but I can't.
Chair, I would like to nominate Brian McCaffrey.
Thank you. We have a nomination of Brian McLaughlin as the member of the Litigation and Claims Committee committee. Excuse me. Are there any other nominations? Ms. Williams? Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Green light.
I didn't comment, thank you.
All right. May I have a motion to nominate Brian McLaughlin, as
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the next election is for a member and alternate to the ADA Accessibility Committee. This committee has one board member representation with an alternate and meets quarterly. According to the survey, Director Williams was interested in serving as the member capacity, and there was no one who expressed an interest in serving in the alternate position. Are there any other nominations for a member or alternate on the ADA Accessibility Committee?
If I may, I'll do alternate if nobody else wants it. Glad to.
Okay, we have Director Williams as the member and Director Vieira as the alternate. Are there any other nominations? May I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? That is done. Thank you very much. Moving on to the external board appointments. The next election is for 3 members and up to 3 alternates for the Tampa Historic Streetcar Board, also known as the THS Board. This board meets monthly on the 4th Tuesday of the month at 1 p.m. According to the survey, Director Schisler, Williams, Clendenin, and Hartfield were interested in serving in the member capacities. Director Niebrick was also interested in the alternate position. Are there any nominations for members and alternates? Director
And
Vieira?
I'm sorry, how many are open?
3.
Okay, I'll nominate, if I may, my colleague, Councilman Clinton. I know he has a lot of leadership and interest in that issue.
Are there any other excuse me. Go ahead. Are there any other nominations for members or alternates to the THS board?
I'll
Director
nominate myself.
Okay.
Well, since you're chair, I mean, I don't know who's got the, let you guys duke it out, so.
We had, according to survey, Director Schisler and Hartfield also interested in serving as members of the board. Do we have another nomination?
I'll offer it as alternate if you want to be the regular member.
Okay.
All right, we have a nomination of Director Clendenin, Director Williams, and Director Hartfield as members of the THS Board. May I have a motion?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we have Director Schizler as an alternate on the THS Board. Are there any other nominations? Okay, we have a nomination for Director Schizler and Director Niebrick as alternates to the THS Board. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, may I have a motion? Any, all in favor? Any opposed? Congratulations and thank you very much. The next election is for a member and alternate to the Transportation Planning Organizational Board. This meets the second Wednesday of every month at 10 a.m. According to the survey, Directors Hartfield and King were interested in serving in the member capacity, and Director King was also interested in serving as an alternate. May I have nominations for the member or alternate of the Transportation Planning Organizational Board?
I nominate Gary Hartfield as the member and John King as the alternate.
Are there any other nominations? Director Wastel?
I'll nominate Director King. I believe Gary Hartfield has his hands filled with all the other roles he's already sitting in. Thank you.
We have a nomination for Director King and Director Hatfield for Hartfield as the member. Are there any other nominations?
I will, I guess, volunteer for the alternate position.
Okay.
If I may, this is for TPO. Just my condolences to who is ever on that board. I mean, it's a terrible board. You could, it's 1967, you could either go to West Germany or Vietnam. You're going to Vietnam, so that's all I'm saying.
All right, as a member, we have two nominations, Director King and Director Hartfield. Staff, could you please poll the members?
Director Clendenin,
Hartfield.
Director Hartfield,
Hartfield.
Director King,
King.
Director Knight,
King.
Director McElpatrick,
King.
Director Mechanic, Director Miller,
King.
Director Myers,
Hartfield.
Director Niebrick,
King.
Chair Schisler,
Hartfield.
Director Vieira,
Hartfield.
Director Williams,
Hartfield.
and Director Wilson.
King.
It is a tie, 6-6.
I have a coin.
Do I have it?
Well, it's up to you. So what do we do in the case of a tie?
You guys are going to have to duke it out. The rules don't provide for.
Oh, geez, okay. Coin toss?
Sure.
All right, that's fine. You toss.
All right. What do you call?
Brian toss. Yeah. All right.
Mr. Hartfield, can I have a motion to nominate Mr. Hartfield as the member? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
We then have,
No idea how lucky you are.
we now have nomination for Director King and for Director Niebrick as the alternate. Staff, could you please poll the members?
Before we do that, is this one position in the alternate status? And if so, then I'll gladly remove my name for Director King.
May I have a motion to nominate Mr. King?
So moved.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next is for the board to take up a member and an alternate for the Transportation Disadvantaged Coordinating Board. This board meets monthly. According to the survey, Director Schisler was interested in serving either as a member or alternate. Are there any nominations for a member or alternate?
I nominate Mr. Schistler.
We have a nomination for Director Schisler. Are there any other nominations for a member or alternate? Director Myers has nominated herself as alternate. So we have a nomination for Director Schisler as a member and Director Myers as alternate. May I have a motion?
Second.
Any, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. Finally, we have an election for a member and an alternate for the Affordable Housing Advisory Board. This board meets on the second Monday of the month at 9 a.m. According to the survey, Directors Hartfield and Williams were interested in serving as members. We did not get any response for any interest in the alternate. Do I have any nominations for a member of the Affordable Housing Advisory Board?
I nominate Williams and alternate Hartford.
All right, we have a nomination for Director Williams as the member and Director Hartfield as the alternate. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, may I have a motion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you very much. This concludes the appointments by the board. We'll take a brief recess while we reconfigure, and the chair will take up the board.
He's asked.
Thank you, everybody. Can I have your attention? We'll bring your meeting back to order. Congratulations to the newly elected HART Board officers and all appointees to the various external boards, as well as the ADA Accessibility and the Litigation and Claims Committee. According to the HART policy, all HART committee appointments are to be made by the HART Board Chair, but committee leadership will be elected by the committee members at their first scheduled meetings. To expedite this process in lieu of the scheduled January 12th committee meetings, and based on the interest expressed in the survey of preference, I'd like to appoint all those members who express interest in serving on the HART Board committees for finance and audit, strategic planning, and operations and safety. We do have one opening on the strategic planning and external relations committee. Is there any interest from any other board members who are interested in serving? Currently, we have expressed interest John King, David Mechanic, myself, and Melody Williams. Is there anybody else who might be interested in serving on that committee?
When does that committee meet?
We meet generally the third Monday of each month, either 9, 10, or 11 o'clock. I think it's the middle meeting.
Okay. And then, so there's a vacancy and you need one additional
Yes.
person to have a full
Yes.
committee. Then I'll, absent anybody else who wishes to fill that slot, then I'll put my name in.
Done, signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, very good. Excuse me. We will be sending out letters to everybody for their appointment to these positions in the next few days. And thank you for your willingness to serve on these committees. They are very, very important. And they do a lot of prep work for the board. So thank you very much. Next item in the next agenda item is the approval of the minutes from November 3rd, 2025 Board of Directors regular meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review these. If there's any questions, if not, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion on the motion? Appearing to be none. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we have the next is the consent agenda. The HART Finance and Audit Committee met on October 20th, 2025, recommended approval of action item 6A, resolution R2026-01-01, to delegate contracting authority to Brian Horn, the CFO, to execute purchases and enter into contracts on behalf of HART in a not-to-exceed amount of $500,000. I'm sure everybody's had a chance to do this. Are there any questions for staff on this agenda item 6A? Appearing to be none. Is there a motion to
Second.
approve? Okay, motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next, next will be the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Drainville, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair, and Happy New Year, everyone. My report will be two-part report. First, I'm going to start off by, I want to address the HART Board motion that was passed on November 3rd meeting, directing me to address some of the issues brought up during public comment, specifically around leave, attendance, paratransit service, our hearing process, and the workplace culture. So I'll start off with leave and attendance and at the no-pay status. So under the ATU collective bargaining agreement, full-time employees accrue 78 hours of sick leave per year. Roughly, that's 10 days, which aligns with the industry standards for safety-sensitive roles. A no-pay status occurs when an employee is legitimately sick but has exhausted paid leave. It is important to distinguish between employees misusing attendance policies and employees who are legitimately ill or on protected leave. Moving on to operator availability, the attendance of the operators surely impacts the service reliability. At the same time, HART's overall operator availability, or the percentage of scheduled hours actually worked, is within national norms for transit systems. It is not an outlier and has been trending positively. Rather than compress this topic today, we will bring a focused report to the Operations and Safety Committee on January 12th, covering what the data shows, what drives missed trips, and the steps underway to improve operator coverage and service reliability. We heard concerns about paratransit service reliability, which is affected by operators' absenteeism and an aging fleet. HART staff is actively addressing both. We have purchased 36 new SUVs. We have 14 new cutaway vans arriving next month in February. I am prioritizing the initiative to implement paratransit CAT and AVL to improve scheduling, tracking, and on-time performance. Comments were raised about potential conflicts of interest in our hearing process. Our disciplinary and grievance hearings follow the requirements of the collective bargaining agreements and are conducted by designated management representatives. This structure is common across transit agencies and does not create a conflict of interest. And Safety and Management reviewed all available video and interviewed employees. Unfortunately, we were unable to determine who placed the bag. This is specific to the bag of urine that was placed on a paratransit van. We were unable to determine who placed the bag on the vehicle, and no corrective action could be taken. The employee was briefed on the findings, and while we understand she did not accept them, we were transparent about the limits of our available evidence. And that concludes my report on the follow-up on the public comment.
Okay, any questions? Yes. Director Knight.
Again, great presentation. I'd like to also point out, back from the public comments, that our chair, our CEO, some of the things that was that was brought up, that look into that, and without the board member getting involved in everything, to make sure that everything is up and above. Obviously, the people are saying that they want to work, getting terminated for whatever way. We don't have all the information, but I'd like for you to assure us that you're going to look back through it and then get back. And I understand a couple of our board members have been involved in one of the ones, but instead of every month, same thing coming up, look into it and address it in a way to make sure that everything is right. Okay.
Yes, please.
Just for clarification, though, I have staff members always in the audience on this board meetings, and they take notes and they follow up on everything that's said in public comments. So I just want to reassure this board that they're well versed on each of these situations, and we always follow up on the board comment.
Thank you, Director Knight. I was going to bring up something of that nature under new business, so it's, but having done that now works.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I want to make a comment, but I want to bring it on the same subject, but I want to bring it up on a new business.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Help me remember. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, so I got a presentation.
No, please, please.
So thank you again, Chair and board members. FY25 was one of the most transformational years HART has experienced in more than a decade, financially, operationally, and organizationally. Today, I'll highlight major milestones that position HART for a stronger, more reliable future. So this year wasn't about incremental change, it was about rebuilding. We stabilized our finances, secured historic federal funding, improved service reliability, strengthened workforce capacity, and renewed public trust. HART is operating today with more structure, accountability, and modernization than at any point in the last 10 years. Next slide. So everything we achieved this year fits into three major themes: record federal funding and financial stability, with the two largest grants in agency history, operational modernization from facilities to fleet and technology, rebuilding trust with our riders, employees, and community partners. These three areas form the foundation for the modern transit system that we are rebuilding. Next slide. We secured a $32 million low-no emissions in bus and bus facilities grant, the largest federal transit award in HART's history and the largest in the state of Florida this cycle. The award replaces 33 aging diesel buses with low-emissions compressed natural gas vehicles, reduces more than $1 million in annual maintenance costs, improves reliability for the riders, and funds new workforce apprenticeships programs. Federal leaders, including Congressman Castor, Congressman Laura Lee, and the FDA Administrator Molinaro, recognize the strength of HART's plan and our commitment to modernization. Next slide. We also secured a $23.3 million bill grant in the beginning of 2025. This funding begins phase one of our heavy maintenance facility improvements, which will support our CNG fleet, improve fueling and maintenance capacity, and address long-standing infrastructure deficiencies. This project is the backbone of HART's long-term reliability strategy. It positions us for the future phases and continued federal partnership. Next slide. Together, these two awards, totaling more than $55 million, represent a generational investment in HART's future. They allow us to modernize our fleet, stabilize our maintenance infrastructure, directly improve customer reliability, and focus on workforce development. Few agencies nationwide receive this level of federal support. It reflects confidence in HART's direction and execution. Next slide. When you combine all federal grants, federal formula funds, discretionary wins, and the CNG excise tax credits, HART secured more than $72 million in federal funding this year. This is unprecedented, and it gives us the ability to move quickly on modernization while protecting our financial stability. Next slide. In addition to our new federal dollars, we strengthen our core financial position. Our reserve balance reached $37.2 million, which is 125% of the required 90-day operating reserve, the strongest financial footing HART has in more than a decade. We've also drove operational efficiencies, including $552,000 in fare card-related savings and $470,000 in paratransit reforms. Next slide. We've made significant progress modernizing our facilities and operational backbone. Phase 1 of the heavy maintenance facility is underway. CAT AVL modernization reached key milestones. We've upgraded lifts, HVA systems, operation centers, and operator spaces. Streetcar operations also received a dedicated control center. These improvements improve reliability for the riders and working conditions for our employees. Next slide. We have improved the rider experience countywide. East Tampa received nearly $1 million in shelter upgrades, 20 new shelters added in District 3 alone. The transit app launched, giving riders better real-time information. Streetcar modernization began with Car 431 fully rebuilt. These are visible, tangible improvements that riders feel every day. Next slide. The Route 1 fare-free pilot has been a tremendous success, generating more than 5,000 weekday riders. Nearly 80% of our surveyed riders say they plan to continue using the Route 1 after the pilot ends. This partnership of the City of Tampa is a model for expanding access and building transit momentum in high ridership corridors. Next slide. HART shows up to the community as a true partner. Over the past year, 1,100 plus youth participated in the Summer Transit Program, building access to opportunity and lifelong familiarity with transit. Our Autism Awareness Bus, ongoing town halls and regional engagement, and HART's role in emergency preparedness. These efforts together reinforce HART as a trusted public resource. Next slide. We ended the year with strong labor stability. Both ATU and Teamsters CBAs are now active through 2027. We welcomed 120 new operators, reduced paratransit overtime by 34%. We increased ridership by nearly 15% and expanded training capacity. Our workforce is the backbone of our success, and FY 2025 brought meaningful improvements. Next slide. Our employees are proud and mission-driven. They also told us where they want more from us, especially recognition, fairness, communication, and development. Their voice directly informs our FY 2026 strategies. Next slide. Our scorecard kept us focused on measurable outcomes, not activity. The FY 2025 was a strong year. Safety exceeded every target, financial stability remained strong, and unaudited results show that we achieved all 5 goals. Community value, benchmarks were surpassed, and employee engagement reached historic highs. We also see clearly the improvement where the improvement is needed. OTP, attrition, training, and perception. And FY 2026 strategies directly address these areas. Next slide. These results reflect the reality on the street. On-time performance is affected by construction and traffic beyond our control, while improvements such as schedule redesigns, new technology, and increased staffing will drive future gains. On workforce, employee engagement is rising, but we also strengthen development and leadership communication. And in community value, we were successful in DBE, SBE, and we now follow research-based best practices for biennial sentiment reporting. Next slide. The FY 2026 scorecard continues our shift from inputs to outcomes. It ensures that modernization, buses, facilities, and technology is matched with measurable improvements in customer experience, workforce growth, financial stability, and safety. This is the accountability structure that will guide our execution in FY 2026. Next slide. HART completed a year of outstanding regulatory performance. All findings from the FTA FMO follow-up review were closed. The FTA triennial review resulted in only 3 comments, an exceptional outcome. FDOT SSO certifications for bus and streetcar were received. Liability claims were reduced by 68% compared with the 10-year average. This is the strongest safety and compliance position we've held in years. Next slide. We also invested in meaningful system safety upgrades, from enhanced CCTV to undercover security operations with TPD, improved operator inspection stations, right-of-way painting, hazard mitigation across the system. These investments directly support employee safety and customer confidence. Next slide. The FY 2026 will be about execution. We will begin procurement on the 33 new CNG buses, advance phase 2 of the heavy maintenance facility, complete the CAD AVL modernization, deploy emerging technologies at bus stops, and sustain customer experience improvements and operational reliability. We are positioned for continued progress. Next slide. In summary, the FY 2025 was a year of rebuilding and a year of historic achievement. Thanks to our federal partners, you, our board, our employees, and our community, HART is on a stronger path than at any point in the last decade. Thank you for your support and your leadership. And that concludes my report.
Any questions? Director Hartfield.
Yes, I'd like to commend our CEO, Scott Drainville, his administration and his staff on a job well done. I would also highly recommend, if you're a reader, to read Atomic Habits by James Clear for you and the administration. There's a great anecdote from the book that I'll share with you. It's based on just making incremental gains. And I think an organization this size, with the community that we serve, if we continue to make those incremental gains in the next 3 years or the next 5 years, we'll find ourselves in a tremendous position in terms of moving HART forward. You're doing a great job, and I appreciate your presentation. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Director Williams.
Thank you. I just had a statement, That was a phenomenal performance review as far as the amount of activity that was accomplished and executed upon. And when you put it in the format that you have just done, it was just significant. And so I do want to step back and just say, job well done for yourself, your employees, and as well as your administration as well, and to all of the others that helped outside of the board. And so I know there was a number of contacts and interactions that took place. So thanks for your leadership and for your team's work as well as your employees. Thank you.
Director Hartfield.
I apologize, Mr. Chair, but I would be remiss in not including Chair Vieira's leadership through that process. Thank you, Chair.
Any other comments? I have one, or several, but all of these accomplishments were not done just by the CEO. They were done by rank and file, staff support, everybody all up and down the line. But it takes a good leader to bring everything together. So congratulations and kudos to everybody for everything that was accomplished. It's just absolutely phenomenal, and the results stand for themselves. Thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Drainville? Anything else? Very good. Chair's report, I don't have a whole heck of a lot. Just congratulations on the bus grants. That's a big deal. I did get to participate on the holiday celebration with the employees out on 21st Avenue, 21st Street. It was a good time. There were a lot of good memories, I guess, for everybody there. And just, I think that one of the biggest hurdles we have coming up in the very immediate future is the Route 1 fare reversion, I guess is the best way to put it. I think staff's done a great job in advertising it and keeping that out in everybody's forefront, that just remember, it's going to happen today, I guess it is, isn't it? Went back into effect, so it was a good job. I want to thank Chair Vieira for all the efforts that he has done in the last 3 years and your time on the board. These are big shoes to fill, and I appreciate the confidence and to look forward to working with everybody this next year and keeping the great strides that HART has made, keep it going and keep it going down the road. Unless, of course, I get the head coaching job with the Buccaneers, and then we'll talk about that. But no, nothing. Okay. Board Council's report is next. Mr. Gibson, you're recognized to facilitate the Chief Executive Officer performance evaluation.
Thank you, Chair Sisler. I appreciate it. As the board will recall, during the fall of last year, we went through the process of review of the CEO of the HART. The annual performance appraisal provides the opportunity of the board to formally review, document, and recognize the previous year's accomplishments for the CEO. The board members had an opportunity to complete the performance appraisal, also had an opportunity to review a self-appraisal done by Mr. Drainville. There's currently a contract in place between HART and Mr. Drainville for 3 years with 2 one-year extensions effective September 12th, 2023. Pursuant to Section 7 of the agreement entitled Performance of Standards and Evaluation, the Board of Directors is to annually review Mr. Drainville based on the performance standards currently applicable to the performance of the Chief Executive Officer. These standards may be updated and/or elaborated by the Board of Directors. The Board of Directors may then elect to grant a merit increase at the level budgeted for non-bargaining unit employees based on a determination that applicable performance standards have been achieved or exceeded. Additionally, the Board of Directors may evaluate the performance of the Chief Executive Officer on other more subjective criteria that the board should deem appropriate and determine whether an additional merit increase up to 15% would be appropriate. During the process, staff received 12 completed evaluation forms. Mr. Drainville received a total average rating of a 4.8 out of a level 5. So next steps for this board is to review the performance evaluation that was done by the individual members, and then really two separate things. The contract provides that the Board of Directors may elect to grant a merit increase at the level budgeted for non-bargaining unit employees based on the performance standards that are in the performance appraisal. And then secondly, additionally, the Board of Directors may evaluate the performance of the Chief Executive on a more subjective criteria deemed completely up to the board's discretion and determine whether an additional merit increase of up to 15% would be appropriate. So I turn it back over to the chair.
Okay, what is the desire of the board, having heard the report from the General Counsel?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Director Hartfield, you're recognized.
I'd love to hear the opinion or the feedback from the CEO in terms of what would he like to see from the board?
Mr. Drainville.
Thank you. What I like to see, I think, I'm honored to be the CEO here, and I think I've established a great relationship with this board. When it comes, just to put it into context, if you look at my peer agencies around the state of Florida, I am the lowest paid CEO out of all the transit agencies in Tier 1 or Tier 2. I know 3.5 years ago, the previous CEO was at $287,000 with other perks. I never asked for that amount of money. And I did budget for non-bargaining a 4% raise, which they will be in their paychecks this week. So I'll stop there and say that. So.
Director Williams.
Thank you. Mr. Drainville, I think when you initially took the job, you did not get a raise or anything. You kept your current salary at the time?
Well, I took the salary was $245, but I did both COO and COO positions.
Okay, that's what I recall. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, Commissioner Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to move for a 5% merit increase in this pay.
Do we have a motion for 5%? Do we have a merit increase? Do we have a second?
Second.
So I want to make sure I understand what we're doing. There is the merit increase, and then we can go above that, up to 15. And so, Board Member Myers, this motion is for 5% inclusive of everything, correct?
Correct. And I will not accept a 15% raise, and employees are not getting that type of raise. CEO Drainfield was very aware at the time of taking the position, he was going to be the lowest paid person, and we cannot afford this board to raise him at 15% at this time.
And thank you for that, ma'am. And so my question is, the merit increase is 5%, correct? That's the merit, and it's, so that would be, we would have the option of going up to 20%, correct?
That's my understanding. Is that correct?
The board really, it really is up to the board. The contract provides that they may elect to grant a merit increase for what the non-bargaining unit, and then separately up to 15%, but it really is up to the pleasure of the board.
So if I may, and I love and respect my dear friend, Board Member Myers, who's such a good person, but I do think that something above that would be reasonable at doing the merit, and then 50% of what we can go up to at 12.5%. That would be my decision, and I'll tell you why. I mean, I've had the great pleasure of working with CEO Drainville for the last few years. I could talk about what a good person he is. He is a wonderful person that we don't pay people a ton of money because they're wonderful people, right? There's a lot of wonderful people out there, but he is a good person. And I think it's important to note that he has gotten us through some very, very rough times. Here as an organization, we've dealt with a lot of different challenges from Tallahassee.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Oh, yes. Oh, go ahead.
Chair, Commissioner Wessel.
There's a motion on the floor. He's now debating. What are we debating? Or are we addressing Commissioner Myers' motion, which I'm going to second? He's entering debate. What are we doing?
Well, I thought we have a second. We were discussing the motion.
I'm discussing the motion, yes.
We did have a second.
We do have a second?
Yes.
Okay, so we are in debate. Okay.
Okay, yep. May I continue?
Sure,
Thank you
please.
very much. Let me see where I was. Yes, challenges from Tallahassee. We've had a lot of different, and when I say challenges, I mean challenges that are, at least in 2023, whenever it was, legitimate. There were legitimate questions asked about HART, and our CEO Drainville really took to that, and I think did very well, and continues to lead us in that regard. You know, giving the full 15%, that's not necessarily something we have to do, but above the merit, I think is reasonable. I think it's reasonable in light of that history that continues today. That's my opinion for what it's worth. Thank you.
Director King.
We're currently paying, what, 245?
254.8.
254.8. What would it take to bring your salary up commensurate with your peers in Florida?
Well, it ranges from 475 all the way to 250.
Okay,
So when you put it into context, like if you were looking at 3 years ago what the CEO made here at HART, it would be a 12%, just to get me to where the CEO was 3 years ago.
Okay. I guess my thought is you pay for talent. And you pay for what it takes to keep someone who is talented and who has developed the staff and loyalty of across the board of not only the administration but the operators and the board members and the mechanics, and I think you've done that. So what I'm asking is what would it really take to put you in a position to where you would be comparable with your peers? Would 10 or 12% do that, or what puts you within that ballpark?
Well, I think 10% would put me in a competitive range with my peers.
Okay. I would move to amend the motion to 10%, at least.
Okay. Procedurally,
We would need to ask the maker
who's
of the motion.
next?
Well,
Director?
it's a sub-motion which we can make, and she can accept it as a friendly amendment, or we can vote on it.
Correct.
I would like to
discuss that for just a second.
Yeah.
I'm reluctant as a board member to support something without data. And I would like to, in an ideal world, what I'd like to do is on the merit side, support the merit increase and then continue that discussion with the staff coming back with the data and the figures from the other competitive transportation organizations so that we can actually see what other organizations and the size and scale they are and be able to compare their compensation to what we're compensating for. So at least, then I can go back and justify whatever raise that is, to make it reasonable. But I think we need to do that. So I would suggest that we continue your motion to a future meeting once staff brings that data to us and we can see it.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Director King, I'm sorry, Director Knight.
Thank you. And Director Myers and also Director Clendenin, I agree with the same thing. I think it's too premature to make a decision today. Let's get information data, let's get our ducks in order, including chair, just like we did evaluation, get it together, do our homework, and then come back with the, on where we're going. I don't feel comfortable not knowing everything to try to vote on something like as important as that today.
Okay. Mr. Dredgeville, what kind of
I
information?
believe General Counsel has the salaries of the CEOs across the state.
Yeah, staff had gathered that information. I do think it makes sense that we maybe take up the one issue and then pass this information on to the board members so that they can have it and mull it over and ask questions instead of just passing it out here and making a decision now. I think it probably does make sense to take a little bit of time and take that up at the next meeting.
So I would call the question on the initial motion from Director Myers.
Okay, all right, so let's
So to call the
peel this
question,
in.
we immediately take a vote on the issue of calling the question.
And I withdraw my amendment.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion at 5%
Yes.
merit for now, and then we'll come back with a separate motion to review the additional information we have. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other comment on the motion? Oh, sorry, you have your.
No, we've got to call the question, so we have an immediate vote on calling the question.
Which requires a 2/3 vote, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So staff, if you'll.
Danielle, would you please?
This
poll
is on
staff?
the issue of calling the question of whether there will be a vote on the underlying motion.
Director Clendenin?
Yes.
Director Hartfield?
Yes.
Director King?
Yes.
Director Knight?
Yes.
Director McElpatrick?
Yes.
Director Mechanic? Director Miller?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Niebrick?
Yes.
Director Schisler? or
Yes.
Chair Schisler, sorry. Director Vieira?
I still want to talk, so I'll say no.
Is that a yes?
No, there's a no.
That was a no, okay. Thank you. Director Williams?
Yes.
Director Wolstel?
No.
All right, so the call the question passes. Now we immediately move to voting on the underlying motion.
For specificity on the motion,
Yes.
not comments, it's a question.
Yes.
And Board Member Myers, if you wanted to go first. If
What we voting on? Is this a continuing?
No, we're voting on your, as I
motion.
understand it, we're voting on your original motion for the 5% merit, and then we'll come back afterwards with the secondary information.
May I? If I may,
Yes.
my question is, so by voting for this does not preclude additional change in the salary, correct?
It does not.
Okay, because that's my yes. Okay, yes,
Correct.
thank you.
That was my understanding also. Yes.
So staff,
Any other-
if you'll call the underlying vote.
Director Clendenin?
Yes.
Director Hartfield?
Yes.
Director King?
Yes.
Director Knight?
Yes.
Director King? Or, I apologize, Director Knight. Director McElpatrick, I apologize.
Yes.
Director Mechanic? Director Miller?
Yes.
Director Myers?
Yes.
Director Niebrick?
Yes.
Director Schisler?
No.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams? Director Wolstel?
Yes.
Motion passes. 2, 3. 11 to 1.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, yes.
So I'll work with staff to ensure that all the board members receive the information about the other jurisdictions, so that the issue can be taken up at an additional board meeting.
So we can
Okay, so
capture
we'll
that as a
come back
motion.
up
Should I
as-
make a motion for that?
I'd like to have a motion on the record for that.
Yeah, I'd motion that direct staff to return the information on competitive regional transit authorities around the state of Florida, their salaries of their CEOs, and at our next regularly scheduled HART meeting.
Gary Hartfield, second.
And question, if I may.
Yes.
If I may, thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question for our council. Do you have the list there?
I do, but I don't believe it's a complete list, and
Okay.
that's one of the reasons I didn't really want to get into it.
I get
I
it.
think there's additional data that I don't have sitting in front of me.
So just so that I know, because I haven't seen it, how many names do we have there roughly?
No names, there's just
Or no.
regional entities, and there's at least 7, 8 different regional transportation organizations.
Are any under 250?
No.
Okay, yeah. So I'll vote for this, right? But with the strong opinion that we do need to raise our CEO's salary. I know we can do up to 15%, we can do whatever, but I think at least going half of that brings us above that level. And I think the numbers will very likely bear that out. But again, I want to say I'm voting for this. I would rather deal with it today, but if the board needs more time, so long as it's retroactive, I'm fine with that. So, yeah. But again, that is my intent, to support an increase based upon the demonstrated work of our wonderful CEO through very difficult times.
I do.
Director
Question.
Williams, I think, first.
Including the information that you just mentioned, but I'd like to see the employee in his direct report, the salaries of his direct reports, because there should be some variance from direct report to Mr. Drainville.
Understood.
Okay, thank you.
We can
Okay,
get that.
thanks.
Director Knight. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, and I agree with Director Vera. When we come back next month, the retro shouldn't be a problem. We realize that just like we do on other votes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Director Wastel. I don't know, we see that light lit, so I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just have a quick statement and then a question. Does your report also include the total amount of tax revenue that those other peer organizations levy?
That's not in the information that I have, but that's some things that we
I mean,
can certainly look into.
Yeah, we can't make the decision, not understanding their revenue streams. And I would just say that, you know, I've been the biggest and loudest supporter of Mr. Drainville. And we've heard some comments over the past couple of years about, from the former chair, about how proud he was that things kept nonpartisan in this atmosphere. But then the former chair is also making comments about the hardships. And when we're talking about the CEO's role and the pay, I've never pointed it out before, but I'm going to point it out today, that the former chair was one of the people that blindly voted for the former CEO, that led to almost the bankruptcy and shuttering of this organization. And it's extremely important that we don't go over our skis when we look at rewarding people. I believe that CEO Drainsville has done a phenomenal job. He's always been direct, open, and transparent. But we do not have peer organizations. There's nothing equivalent to if we go and look at Orlando or Miami. They probably levy extraordinary higher amounts of revenue on their citizens than we do here in Hillsborough County. And I do want him to be rewarded, but I also want us to continue riding this ship in a stable fashion. I don't want past comments to be able to be diluted or dissuade us in the direction of that we used to be and where we're going. He deserves commensurate pay. I've said that every single time in every single meeting. I think that you've done a wonderful job, and I hope that you keep doing a wonderful job, but the organization is just at the point that it's at. I believe that Commissioner Meyer's motion is the appropriate amount of funding. That's what was budgeted, and that's what I will continue to support. Thank you.
If I may respond to that, I think it's very unfortunate, Board Member Wosel, that you would make remarks like that. When you're in public offices, you know, you make a number of votes, things that in retrospect maybe you wouldn't have gone through. I think it's also unfortunate to put a target on me. Let's just say that my name from now on will be Louis Hagan. Thank you.
Okay, all right, let's bring this
I
back.
think that I think that I've made very valid points, that comment has never been pointed out publicly, but people do deserve accountability, including those on this board, and we make these decisions that make financial detriment to this organization. We can't continue to ponytail wag up here like we're immune to the problems that existed when we were in fact some of the ones that made those motions to put those people in charge. Thank you.
Okay, Director King.
Can we get input from the CFO as to how any salary increase is going to affect the overall budget?
Yes, we can supply that information.
Okay.
Yes, Ms. Williams, I'm sorry. You're,
Excuse me. I was just gonna ask to include what
I
you said
think
was
4%
budgeted.
was budgeted. Yeah, non-bargaining is 4%.
Oh,
so
all
include
right,
5.
thank you very much.
Okay. So I believe we still have a motion on the floor.
Motion, please.
Yes, I was just going to say,
Thanks.
please repeat the motion, whoever's got it.
It was Director Clendenin's motion.
No, we disposed of that. We're on to the
Director Myers.
5%
Director Myers of
merit,
5%.
or has that already been disposed? Okay, all right, so we're just bringing this back. We're setting, no, you have a motion on the agenda item.
So the motion was for staff to bring back the information on other regional transit authorities, CEO's salary, and I'll accept the friendly amendment from Director Williams to include the information on the salary of the direct reports, so we know what the gap is between those two salaries at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
And you want information about the taxing authority?
Just the revenue.
Just the revenue, okay. All right,
Accept that as a friendly amendment
okay,
as
so we
well.
have a motion, we have a restated second?
On the record, it was my second.
Okay, all right, Danielle, please, roll call.
Director Clendenin,
Yes.
Director Hartfield,
Yes.
Director King,
Yes.
Director Knight,
Yes.
Director McAlpatrick,
Yes.
Director Miller,
Yes.
Director Myers,
Yes.
Director Niebrick,
Yes.
Chair Schisler,
Yes,
Director Vieira,
Yes.
Director Williams,
Yes.
and Director Wostel.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
very good, thank you. Okay, item number 10, we have the HART Board Committee reports are in section 10 of your packet. The reports from the HART Board representatives are in section 11 from the packet, and then various information reports are provided in section 12. Is there any old business? Appearing to be none. Any new business? Ms. Myers, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the things I want to bring up, I've been on the HART Board since 2020, when I got elected to the Board of County Commissioners. And since I've been on this board and listening to public comments, going on now 6 years, the employees that work for HART always comes and share with the board different problems, different concerns, being terminated for whatever reason. And I appreciate staff being in our meetings and all. But just last month and ending October, November, December, I received phone calls from employees that were terminated. And it led me to where I'm going today, to ask for an internal investigation of human resources in our bus operations, because over the past 5 years, it's hard for me to continue to sit here and hear employees after employee come and share information of being terminated, presenting the same information to HART. And I think at this point, I would like to move for an investigation outside. I know Council Adams is our counsel for HART, but being that the employees, former employees of HART continues to come, and I sit on 8 or 9 other boards, and I don't hear this in my other board meetings of what is going on at a board that I sit on. So I really believe there's some valid issues that is what's going on. We just cannot look at and listen to the employee, but we also need to look at, to the former employee, I should say, but also look at the situation of the current employees that are working for HART, and the former employees are coming and presenting their case, and it's been denied, and they've been terminated. We hear their comments, and this is the reason I want to move for an outside external investigation with our HR department, our bus operation, and to get to the bottom of this, so in 2026, we don't have to hear continuously at most of our meetings the same thing of how employees are being terminated. So I think there is an issue within the organization. There's an issue. How do we resolve the issue? What policies or procedures we're going to put in place so when an employee is terminated, we have all the information. They're presenting the facts, still been denied in all. As a board member myself, I can no longer just sit here and say, oh, it's okay, I hear their public comments. What are we going to do? That is my motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
If I may, I'm glad to second him, and obviously we need more specificity on what it is. If we're looking at having Mr. Adams, who's obviously a wonderful labor employment attorney, meet with some employees on some allegations to see if there is some level of investigation or inquiry for the employees, I think that's reasonable, just to make sure we don't have an issue. That's not anything that's adverse to anybody, just in listening to folks, and I'm okay with that.
To our, before we do any comment, to our attorney, go over your admonitions again for the public comment, for the board, to how we're supposed to handle this type of a situation.
Well, I can read it directly, Mr. Chair. Members of the public have a right to speak on any relevant issue during the public comment process. However, certain items may be rooted in contract pending legal recourse or prohibited by board policy, which prohibits involvement by this board in the normal employer-employee relationship between the CEO and any other employee or employee union of the HART. While the public could address those matters, board members are advised not to discuss them during the open meeting.
Look, it seems to me we're running through a minefield here with this issue, and I'm concerned that we're policy, we're not day-to-day operations. What is your advice on the efficacy of the motion? Do you have a feeling on it?
Well,
based upon what you just read.
Certainly, it is the will of the board, and staff will move at the will of the board. The board's role is policy, though, and it is the CEO's job to manage the employee-employer management. I would stick with the advice that the board should not address that during this meeting. That being said, the staff and me will operate at the will of the board.
Yeah, I would urge us not, as empathetic as I am and as pro-labor as I am, but we have two bargaining units representing employees of HART, and they have exclusive rights to be able to represent those employees and work with management. And I think what this would do is it would actually violate their standing and recognizing they are the exclusive representatives of these employees. And I don't think we should open up that can of worms.
Any other comments on the motions?
I have a quick question. Go ahead.
Okay, Director Knight.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, we asked Mr. Drainville to get information with the union representation as well, try to iron this out. Whatever legally can be done, my request is to have it done. We shouldn't have to go through unless 2026 be a lot better than 2025. So I'm for it. I'm coming from 36 years, pro-union, even with company. I've worked in all things with Tampa Electric. and never have I seen it with this. We're doing a lot of great things, but there's something too shall pass. So whatever it takes to keep everybody in that team.
Director Wester.
I just have a quick question for Ms. Bailey. I know. It's really simple, though. You handle these issues, correct, Ms. Bailey? Do you trust your process, Ms. Bailey?
I do.
You've always offered me sound legal advice, so I won't be supporting the motion on that answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I see a light down there. My comment is several facets. One with the CBAs, there's processes that are well spelled out. And yes, to Ms. Myers' comments, yes, there's been a significant, not for sure, there's actually been a decrease in complaints in the last few months. But for a while there was this bell curve, and it was like virtually nothing. Then somebody said that the board has a sensitive ear, and then it was just a flood of people coming in. And it was standing room only, people out the door and everything else. And we kept kicking it back to the human resources, to Mr. Drainville, and it seems to have peaked. And it's on, and in my mind, it's on its way down. I don't want to get in that landmine. It's very, very dangerous. We're trying to do the administration's job, and that's not what we're here for. I too trust Ms. Bailey and her staff and everything that these guys do. If there's a problem, I expect them to bring it to us. I'm not going to support the motion, although I am sensitive to it, and I understand when somebody's lost their job, if they feel that they've lost it incorrectly or inappropriately, then they potentially need an ear. But I think we have processes in place to address that. So that's my position on it at this point. No other further comment. We have a motion to second. No other discussion. Ms. Danielle, would you please take a roll call?
Yes, Chair. Director Clendenin?
No.
Director Hartfield?
No.
Director King?
No.
Director Knight? No. Director McAlpatrick?
No.
Director Miller?
No.
Director Myers?
Yes, I'm going to support my own motion. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Niebrick?
No.
Chair Schisler?
No.
Director Vieira?
Yes.
Director Williams?
No.
And Director Wostel?
No.
Okay. The motion fails on
It
vote.
fails 10 to 2.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Any other new business? Director Knight.
So I see you're gonna take care of it.
Okay. Very good. Okay, no other new business. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you very much. Everybody have a great week.